Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been quite a while since I've done an update on my K10 4-wheel drive LS swap that I'm doing. So, most of you all know, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, you already know that I've kind of already cleaned the frame up, got it painted and everything. But I'll spin you around here and I'll show you just in case you haven't seen it yet. As you can see, we got it all ready. And I've actually been doing some other things. I've had some family matters come up. Recently lost a son. So that's the reason why this has been kind of sitting back for a while. I've been dealing with other things. Off camera, I did kind of work on the cab a little bit here. We had a rust spot that was down here. As you can see, this is the piece that I cut out of it, and you can see it was rusted. So I cut it out. I got a donor cab, cut another chunk out of it, replaced it. Got some self-etching primer on it for right now. But in this video, we're going to address something real quick, and that is the frame area where the steering box is. These are notorious for cracking. Mine is not cracked, so right now I want to prevent that from happening in the future, because I do plan on running some bigger tires on this and 6-inch lift. That puts a lot of stress right here on the frame. Like I said, it's notorious. That's the weak spot. They make the plates that you can take the steering box off, weld onto there, put your steering box back, but I don't want to do that. I've got another one. AutoFab makes a bracket that bolts up into these two bolts, comes over here to the middle bolt on your front cross member here. You'll drill this out and it'll also bolt right here. And then it'll also bolt on the inside of your top frontmost bolt up here on your steering box. You'll remove that and it'll bolt also right to these two bolts here. So those usually sell for, like 130 bucks. But those of you that watch the channel know that I love to build stuff. So yes, I could order this part and not even worry about it, but I am going to kind of go off his design and I'm going to build my own. It's just another thing that I can say, hey, I built that. I do not take credit for the design. Like I said, I think it's AutoFab. They build them, they sell them. If you want one, go buy one. It's not expensive. 130 bucks is what I've seen them for. Cheap. So anyhow, I've got some parts cut out over here. This is some metal that I used while building a barbecue grill. It's 3/16 metal. I called the company already. They told me that they use 3/16, and this is what I've already had. So we're going to utilize that. And what I've done is I've already made some pieces. These are extender pieces, and you'll see later on how these come in effect. I've got some grade 8 bolts that we're going to replace everything with. I'm one short, so I will pick up another one. We've got some washers, some lock nuts, and a regular nut. So what we're going to do first is we're going to bolt these up on the inside of the frame on the back two bolts. That way I can get a good measurement of where I need to come off from here over to here. So let me get that done and we'll come back.
Arkansas for over 40 years. One of Los Angeles Cardinals baseball. We are true country.
you just seen, we got that drilled out. We got that one stuck in there. There's your spacers. That's the spacers up on that one. Those spacers are 2 inches out on each one. Now what we're fixing to do is we're going to make a template out of some cardboard, and the brace is going to weld on here and up inside of here, and it'll come down, it'll come over to here, and it's going to weld to here. So let's get that made and we'll come back. Alright guys, before I weld this, you can see I've got it setting in there just like that. As you can see how that goes across there. I'm going to get this tacked on there, and then on the back side it'll have a brace coming down it to keep any kind of flexing. You'll see what I mean whenever I get that done. Let me get this tacked in here and we'll come back. Alright guys, we've got the finished product other than painting it. As you can see, it bolts to the inside of the frame, comes over here, bolts to the middle. I've got to get the bolt for that one. Like I said earlier, I didn't get enough bolts. Runs through that frame. You can see it goes through there. Then on the front side, this originally had this bracket bolted in here like this. What you'll do is you'll remove these 2 bolts right here. They're right there. You remove those, set your bracket out of the way. And then what I've done is I built this. It takes this stock bolt out of the steering box. You'll put this 7/16 by 14 thread, 3.5 inches long. You put that in there. And you're going to bolt it back up to your steering box right there. Let me get this started. There we go. Then all you do is just kind of tighten it up a little bit. Alright. Then your other bracket, as you can see, it's got the holes drilled in there. That lines up. You'll put your bracket back on, put your 2 bolts in there, and you're done. And that completely stiffens up the frame to where it can't crack. Like I said, I could buy this. It's $130, but I love building things, and I'm not trying to rip the man off by not buying this product, but I love building things, and I love being able to say I made that. Alright folks, there we go. That's the finished product, minus the bolt that goes in the center. I've got to get another one. As you can see, I've got it braced on the back. This is 3/8 inch cold roll flat stock. It's welded all the way down on both sides, so there will not be no kind of flexing or anything there, but it bolts right there. You can see where I've tack welded it. It's got the inside of my frame kind of smoked up a little bit. I'll clean all that up. Then up front, I built another bracket, as you can see in there, that also extends out right there 2 inches, and it runs through the front bolt, the front top bolt, and it bolts to right here. You'll remove this bracket, build this piece, and then just put your bolts back in there, and that stiffens up the front. This stiffens up the rear. As you can see, you drill out the center hole, and it goes all the way through. You can find this, like I said, on autofab.com. They make them. I think Off-Road 4x4 or something like that. They make them. But I've done 2 things here. I've saved myself $130. Plus, I can also add this to the list, like I said, of things that I said I've built on this truck. The bolts that go through here are 3.5 inches long. They are 7/16 14 thread, grade 8 bolts. So I don't want to hear anybody try to say that they'll break. I'll get the same thing to go through the front. It replaces these stock bolts and the stock spacer. So with that being said, guys, I hope you continue watching the progress. The next thing to do is we're going to start putting the motor and transmission in here, and we're going to set the cab and the front cap back on here also. Until then, next time, guys, God bless. Have a good one.